Right now, on my screen, there is a line of code about to get written, and you can watch the exact reasoning happen before a single character appears. Not a summary of what the AI decided, the actual thought process, word by word, sitting right inside VS Code. Watch this collapse line. Click it, and it opens into a full paragraph of reasoning, which file it's checking, why it's rejecting one approach, why it's picking another. This is Grok's thinking trace running live inside your editor. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn it on. The reason this matters is simple. When an AI just gives you an answer, you're trusting a black box. When you can see it reasoning, you catch the moment it's about to make a wrong assumption before it writes the wrong code. That's the difference between fixing a bug in 2 minutes and debugging an AI's mistake for an hour. Before we get into it, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more people who are stuck doing this the slow way. And drop a comment with your operating system, because I'm going to answer setup questions down there after this goes live. Everything I'm about to show you, I tested myself, step by step, on a clean machine, so nothing here is guesswork. Here's the actual problem this solves. Most people using AI coding tools inside VS Code only ever see the final output. An agent edits a file, runs a command, and you either accept it or you don't. But agents don't always reason correctly. They sometimes chase the wrong file, misread a function's purpose, or solve a problem you didn't actually ask about. Without visibility into the reasoning, you only find that out after the damage is done. Grok's coding agent, called Grok Build, exposes that reasoning directly, and there's a free extension that puts it right inside your VS Code sidebar, with the thinking trace expandable on every single response. This isn't a workaround or a hack, it's an official capability of the agent, wrapped in a community-built interface that plugs straight into your editor. By the end of this, you'll have it installed, configured, and you'll know exactly when to turn the reasoning depth up and when to leave it low, so you're not wasting time waiting on a simple fix. Let's start with the foundation, because the extension is nothing without the underlying agent installed first. On Mac, Linux, or inside WSL, open your terminal and run this exact command: curl space -fs capital S L space the install link starting with https://x.ai/cli/install.sh space pipe bash. On Windows, you don't need WSL anymore. There's a native build now, so open PowerShell and run the equivalent install script from the same source ending in install.ps1. This pulls down the Grok Build command line agent, the actual engine that plans, edits files, runs terminal commands, and does the reasoning you're about to watch. Give it a moment to finish. It's a small download, nothing heavy. Once it's done, you technically already have a working AI coding agent on your machine, but right now it only runs in a terminal window, and terminals don't show reasoning nearly as cleanly as what we're about to set up. Next, you need to sign in, and there are 2 paths here, so pick based on what you already have. If you have a SuperGrok subscription or X Premium Plus, just type Grok, then /login and press enter. That opens your browser, completes the login in one step, and you're authenticated. If you'd rather pay only for what you use, skip the subscription entirely and go to console.x.ai, generate an API key there, and set it as an environment variable called xai_API_key in your shell, or drop it into a .n file in your project folder. The extension picks it up automatically. Here's a detail almost nobody mentions. The API key route actually unlocks more models than the subscription tier alone, including the faster and lighter model variants. So if you want flexibility over which brain is doing the reasoning, the API key is worth the few extra minutes of setup. Either path gets you authenticated, and once it's done, test it by typing Grok in your terminal and sending a 1-line prompt just to confirm the connection is alive before we move into the editor. Now for the actual piece that makes the reasoning visible. Open VS Code, go to the Extensions panel, either click the icon on the left sidebar or press Ctrl-Shift-X, Command-Shift-X on Mac. Search for Grok Build. You're looking for the one built specifically as a sidebar client for the coding agent we just installed, not a generic chatbot extension. This one speaks directly to the same command line tool through a protocol built for exactly this kind of integration. Install it, then reload the window. Ctrl-Shift-P, type developer:/reload window, and hit enter. A Grok icon appears in your activity bar on the left. Click it and a full chat panel opens inside your editor, not a separate app, not a browser tab, right there next to your code. If you already use another AI assistant in VS Code, right-click that Grok icon, choose Move To, then Secondary Sidebar, and now you can run both side by side and actually compare their reasoning on the same problem.
Here's where it gets interesting. Type any prompt into that panel, something like asking it to explain what a specific function in your codebase actually does, and press Enter. Watch the response area closely. Before any final answer appears, you'll see a line that says Thinking, and it stays collapsed by default. That line is live. It's streaming Grok's internal reasoning as it happens, not a canned summary generated afterward. Click directly on that line, and it expands into the full trace: what it read, what it ruled out, what assumption it's testing. When the reasoning finishes, that same line updates to say, thought for, followed by however many seconds it took, and you can still click at any time to expand or collapse the full trace. This single feature is the entire point of this video, because it turns an opaque agent into one you can actually audit in real time, the same way you'd read a colleague's train of thought instead of just accepting their conclusion. Now, here's the mistake almost everyone makes the first week they set this up, so pay attention here. There's a mode inside this extension called YOLO Mode, and it automatically approves every single permission request the agent makes, meaning it can edit files and run terminal commands without asking you first. It sounds convenient, and for small, low-risk tasks, it genuinely is. But people turn it on, forget it's on, and then walk away while the agent is mid-task on a real project. If you're working in a repository with anything you can't easily undo, a production config file, a database migration script, a deploy pipeline, leave YOLO mode off and stay in the default agent mode instead, where it pauses and shows you a permission card with a live diff before it touches anything sensitive. There's also a plan mode, where the agent drafts its entire approach first and literally cannot write to your workspace until you approve the plan. That's the safest option when you're handing it something unfamiliar or high stakes. Reasoning visibility protects you from mistakes you can see. Permission modes protect you from the ones you can't catch in time, and you genuinely need both working together, not just one of them. Now, let's talk about controlling how deep that reasoning actually goes, because this is where most tutorials stop, and it's honestly the most useful part. Click the gear icon in the panel, and you'll find a row of effort levels, ranging from none up through minimal, low, medium, high, and X-high. This setting controls how long and how thorough the reasoning process is before it responds. For something trivial, renaming a variable, adding a console log, fixing an obvious typo, set it to low or even none, because deep reasoning on a one-line fix just burns time and, if you're on the API key, burns money for nothing. But for something like restructuring how your application handles authentication or debugging a race condition that only shows up intermittently, push it up to high or X-high and watch the thinking trace get noticeably longer and more deliberate, actually checking edge cases instead of jumping straight to an answer. Changing this setting does restart your current session, so do it before you start a complex task, not in the middle of one. And if you're mid-conversation and need to raise the effort, use the summarize and restart option so your context carries forward instead of vanishing. Let me walk you through a real example, because this is where the reasoning trace actually saves you. Say you have a function handling payment retries, and it's been silently swallowing errors instead of logging them. A genuinely nasty bug because nothing crashes, it just quietly fails. You prompt Grok to find why failed payments aren't showing up in your error logs. Watch the thinking trace expand, and you'll see it walk through the retry function, notice the try-catch block, and initially consider adding a log statement inside the catch. Then, if the reasoning's working well, you'll watch it reconsider, realizing the catch block is also silently returning a fake success value, which is the actual root cause, not just a missing log line. Without seeing that trace open, you'd catch that reasoning shift as it happens, and you can even interject mid-task. This extension lets you send a follow-up message while it's still working, and it steers the current turn instead of queuing up for later. That's the entire value of this setup in one example. Not just getting an answer, but watching the reasoning correct itself before the wrong fix ever reaches your files. Here's the golden tip, and this is the part almost nobody outside serious daily users of this tool actually configures. Combine the thinking trace with MCP service, which let the agent call outside tools directly, things like a browser automation tool or your own internal documentation search.
Add one with a single command in your terminal, grok space mcp space add, followed by a name and the command to run it. For example, wiring up a browser tool so the agent can actually check documentation live instead of guessing from memory. Once that's connected, ask it something that requires outside information and watch the thinking trace now include tool calls as part of its reasoning. You'll literally see it decide to check an external source mid-thought, read the result, and adjust its answer based on what it found. That combination, visible reasoning plus live tool access, is what separates a basic autocomplete assistant from something that behaves like an actual research partner inside your editor. Most people install the extension, use it for a week on simple prompts, and never touch this, and it's genuinely the difference between a decent tool and one that fundamentally changes how you debug. I test new AI deals every week. If a new free method comes out, you'll see it here first. Next video, I'm walking through how to wire up multiple MCP servers at once inside this exact setup, including one that lets the agent read your terminal output and self-correct failed commands without you typing anything. And if that's useful to you, that's exactly why staying around for it is worth it. Before you go, tell me in the comments which effort level you landed on for your daily work, low for speed or high for depth, because I genuinely want to know how people are actually using this once the novelty wears off. And if you got stuck on the sign-in step or the extension isn't finding your CLI installation, drop the exact error you're seeing below, because there's almost always a one-line fix, and either I'll answer it directly or someone else watching already solved the exact same thing.